Welcome to Pet Marketing Mastermind, the show where we help pet business owners and entrepreneurs like you unlock growth, connect with your ideal clients, and create positively amazing brands. I am your host, Joe Myers, and whether you run a doggy daycare, sell pet products, or offer other services to make those tails wag, this is your place for expert advice, actionable strategies tailored just for the pet industry. Today, we're diving into an exciting topic: new year, new growth. Planning for success in 2025. As the new year is starting, it's a perfect time to reflect, set goals, and map out a plan to take your business to the next level. I'm going to be sharing tips, trends, and strategies to help you start your 2025 strong and stay ahead of this fast-growing industry. So grab a notebook and your favorite pet, and let's jump right in. I am so excited to dive into this topic with you. This new year is going to be exciting for multiple reasons. There are a ton of opportunities on the horizon, and we just need to position our business and ourselves and our mindset to accomplish them. The pet industry has experienced incredible growth over the last decade, and all of the signs are that growth is going to continue. Pet ownership is up, the cost and what we're spending on our pets are rising. With looming economic issues, the one area that we have not seen this downturn in is affecting pets. This is an essential part of people's lives. Food, clothing, daycare, these are areas that are essential to our pet's life. And we do not see a downward trend in the growth of this industry. So is your business, your pet business, your pet boarding and daycare, your pet website, are they prepared for the growth? And obviously, as things tighten, we need to position ourselves in a way that really aligns with the consumer. If you don't know, I've been in the pet industry for almost 8 years. I've run my marketing agency, Share Marketing. During that time, I was also the CMO of a pet technology product. That product was featured everywhere, incredible growth. And now I have the opportunity and the pleasure of sitting down and talking with entrepreneurs, talking with businesses on how to position their services, their products for growth. I've worked with some of the largest brands, Target, Coca-Cola, and then I've worked with mom and pop shops with one or two entrepreneurs who really have a heart and a passion for what they're doing. And I love working with business owners of every size. And what really drew me to the pet industry was the people, was you, your passion, your heart, your dedication to what is best for our fur-legged family members. Moving forward to 2025, let's take a couple of minutes to step backwards on 2024. A lot happened. Macro, big news cycles, but more importantly in the pet industry. A lot of mergers, a lot of acquisitions, a lot of moving. Big players really have their eye on this industry. I talk to more investors and large acquisition groups because the pet industry is increasingly outperforming other spaces, which is amazing. All this added attention brings opportunities for us all, but we really need to position ourselves. So let's look back to 2024 a little bit. And I want you to think about your own business just for a couple of minutes. What worked? And that could be a marketing campaign. That could be a new hire. That could be hiring an agency. That could be a partnership. Maybe you're a pet boarding and daycare place and you really found a partnership with a local gym or a local hotel. What really worked? Out of all the things you do, and as business owners, I'm one myself, you do a lot. You're sitting there each and every day. You have 1,000 things on your plate, and sometimes it's really hard to stop, think, and reflect on what worked, what was effective, what really drove the business forward. When you saw growth, did it just happen? Or were you the one kind of pushing that up the hill? As entrepreneurs, we are constantly pushing up problems up hills. And then sometimes we don't really reflect when they sail away and we see success. And on the other side of that coin, what didn't work? What marketing campaign, what trend did you follow? What trend passed you by? And you're like, wow, that didn't work. I wasn't a part of that. I didn't really reflect that. So what didn't work in your world? And then let's talk about some of the trends that dominated the industry in 2024. I would say one of the largest ones was social media. Pets were everywhere. and not just on the fringes of pet accounts, but mainstream celebrities, main businesses. It became an essential part of our travel story. Both Uber and Lyft started having a pet product. Bark has an airline dedicated to pets. Pet has not become something that we think about after a vacation or after a trip or after a travel, or even after as we're going to a hotel or a restaurant. It became an essential part of 2024, and that trend will just continue on in the future. I loved this year. This year was fun to see the growth, fun to see the reflection. I had a client who was launching a new business, and it was a ton of fun to see. As soon as that business hit the ground, people in the industry were like, I want this, I need this, I love this. But then the real work starts. We were able to craft a social media strategy, craft paid ads, start partnership conversations. Once we really understood who we were and who the brand was, we were able to reach out to other brands, and they're like, amazing, let's talk about this. And in a couple of short months, it went from a napkin idea, as every entrepreneur has, to something that's thriving and growing. And the fun part about it is we never really finish as entrepreneurs. You never really get to the finish line and say, I'm done. It's what's next. How can we iterate? How can we get better throughout the process? Were there things that didn't work? Of course. But that's actually a part of my job as a marketer. My job on this side, as the agency side, is we run tests. My son loves engineering and loves tests. And so I don't consider any of those failures. I just consider them tests that didn't work out. But you have to have so many swings of the bat in your business that eventually one's going to crack. But you test in small iterations. Test 3 ads to get one really good one. And then test that ad. Test 3 landing pages to get one really good one. Test 3 email subjects to just get one good one. I think as business owners and entrepreneurs, we're too afraid to test. We're too afraid to fail and get a 0. But as a marketer and an entrepreneur, I encourage all of us to test more. That's one of my mottos for 2025. Test, test, test. Now that we've looked back a little bit, let's look forward. 2025 will be what you make it. There are a ton of macro things going on in the pet industry nationwide, and I don't want to get into those. But I really want to talk about you as an entrepreneur. How are you setting those goals for your business? We love setting SMART goals in our business, and we do recommend this for all of our entrepreneurs and all of our clients that we're working with. If you're familiar with the platform, I'll just quickly go over it. SMART: specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-based. We sit down with our clients and we do a thing called the scorecard for most of our clients, depending on their situation. And these are our SMART goals for the year. How much social media do we want to reach? What's our cost per acquisition? How many visitors do we want for our website? Each of them are set typically month by month by month. So they are specific. They're not, I want more traffic, which we all do, right? I want more sales, which of course we all do. They are specific to the business. I want to sell 3 times more than last month. I want to sell $8,000 this month in e-commerce sales. Specific. Obviously measurable. You can't just say, I want to be better. I want to be the best. How are we measuring this? A third party, website, surveys. What are we using to measure that? Achievable. I would love for my business and your business to hit viral success tomorrow. I would love for some random celebrity to randomly love it and billions of people talking about tomorrow. I wish that for all of us. But I also want to be realistic. I want to understand that overnight success is typically 10 years in the process, 5 years in the process, 2 years in the process. I've worked on brands that have hit virality, hundreds of millions of views. It took half a decade to get there, 5 years to get there, 6 months to get there, 3 months to get there. It can happen, but I don't think betting or hoping that our wish upon a star comes true is a sound business strategy. When it happens, it's fantastic. Floodgates open up. Your email is flooded with opportunities. You are the belle of the ball. But as a smart business entrepreneur, you're not going to bank everything on the Vegas odds of one of those things happening. We can position our brand, we can talk about content, we can be in the running. We can swing our bat at that, but we want to hit base hits, hits to the outfield, not just always grand slams with 2 minutes remaining on the clock. And I know I missed my analogies there, but I hope that makes sense. So once we have those SMART goals set, those are our yearly goals. I'll typically review them once a month with my clients and then quarterly just to adjust. Sometimes some of the SMART goals, we blew past them, and our goals for June have already been accomplished in March. Fantastic work, but we want to go back to them and kind of reassess them. So while I have those goals, now we need to understand how we're going to get there. Everything you measure should be achievable, and achievable through your own action. Again, not through wishing on the stars. So we love doing seasonal campaigns, especially dog boarding and daycares. Pet owners and dog owners really want to see that their dog is enjoying a full year of activity. It's not the same old every day, every week. They want to know that it's a Valentine's Day campaign coming up and a St. Patrick's Day coming up and a 4th of July and an Oktoberfest and November and Christmas. And they want to feel like each day their dog is not there, their dog is missing out, because they want their dog to have that unique and special environment. And so seasonal campaigns really remind your core consumers, they remind these pet parents that, oh wow, something is always happening. You can have external seasonal campaigns telling people about an upcoming Valentine's Day event you have going on with a photo shoot if you do something like that. Or it can be just an internal seasonal event for your prospective clients or clients that maybe booked with you 3 months ago and have yet to try you out again. This makes them understand that, wow, something's happening there. I want to be a part of that. And obviously, if you're in e-commerce space, there are certain seasonal campaigns, whether you're selling on Amazon with Amazon Prime Days, or some of their flash deals and flash sales, or you're selling independently on there. And people want to know that you're relevant to the season of their life, the season of what's happening with their dog. And seasonal in the pet space can also be considered seasonal in regards to the dogs. Have you ever run a puppy campaign? Just for puppies, 1 week only. Or senior dogs, or mature dogs, or golden retrievers. You can take certain times of the year where your core consumer, think about them. Think about you as a dog owner. Do you have every type of dog at home? Maybe one of you do. But you probably have 1 or maybe 2 or 3. No judgment of how many dogs. But if I saw a Beagle ad, which is the dog that I have, Mickey Mouse, I'd be more inclined to click on that. So run a Beagle ad for a week. And again, as we talked about before, be okay to fail. Be okay if the ad doesn't work. But you're running 3 or 4, I guarantee one of them is going to outperform. And maybe it'll be your best ad. Maybe there's a hidden Beagle audience for your client that you had no idea because you were running, no specific dog campaign. And as we know, this pet industry is ever growing, which is fantastic. There are more events, more people in the space. And what I've found out in the pet industry, being in it for almost 8 years, is people want to help. People want to encourage you. People want to inspire you. So if you're struggling in your business, or if your business is kind of hidden in that plateau, I have a lot of clients that had a lot of really steady growth for many years, and then they've plateaued. Pet industry events, pet industry connections. What a wonderful way to really connect with your core audience, for you to ask those questions. I guarantee a question about dog boarding and daycare in Tampa is similar to a dog boarding and daycare in Orlando or Miami or Atlanta. You're dealing with the same issues, the same seasonality. You might have some nuances on when the dogs can go outside and what to do in extreme heat, but the core business is going to be the same. And especially if you're selling dog products or dog services or have a dog website, the core business is going to be the same. And so I think those fellow business owners can be your biggest tool for success and growth. Okay, so we've looked back, 2024. We've set our goals for 2025. And now you're probably sitting there or listening there and saying, well, Joe, how do I accomplish these goals? Let's talk some marketing trends that really will break through in 2025. The first one, and we've probably all heard this, and if you've not, I would love to walk you through this. This is one of my favorite new tools that I've actually worked with for almost 2 years now, AI. The models on AI are growing faster than I can even speak. And I promise this is not AI. I promise this is not AI. I'm kidding. I promise that I'm not AI. But those tools are getting increasingly more advanced. They are starting to be embedded in every software, from your ad software to your content creation software to your email software. They are starting to be embedded in there. And if they're not, in the next 3, 6, or 9 months, they will be. So take advantage of them. And again, as I talked about before, they are incredible tools for testing. Here's a simple prompt. Hey, insert your AI tool of choice. I use ChatGPT frequently. Hey, write me a marketing ad for my pet boarding and daycare business, and write me 3 different versions for 3 different types of dogs. Make it a seasonal ad for, let's just say, Valentine's Day. And one tip here, always act as a marketing professional. Act as a marketing professional. And I don't want to get into the details on why this works, but AI is predicting. It's not smart, it's just predicting. And so if you tell it to act as a marketing professional, act as an entrepreneur, it shrinks its focus to the key areas in which a marketing professional, like myself, would use. Tools, tips, tricks, language. It is an incredible tool. Think about this. If you were a chef, there's certain ways you speak of food as a chef versus somebody who has never spent a day in the kitchen. That's what adding think as a marketing professional does to AI tools. So think as a marketing professional and tell the AI to think as a marketing professional, email professional, ad professional. I promise your results will skyrocket and your tests will be increasingly better. Social media ads. This is becoming an increasingly powerful tool. What I love about social media ads is you've already tested it. If you're on social media at all, you've probably posted once, twice, 100 times. You know what your audience responds to. You know, photos of this, photos of that, your product like this. And so if you had any testing, so maybe you've posted 10 times, what's your best post? What's your best reach? Turn that into an ad. You've already had 100 tests, 10 tests, 50 tests. Turn that one post into an ad. Fun fact about social media is they are businesses just like you and they encourage you to spend money on ads. The way they do this is that anything you post that's not an ad will typically deliver initially to 2% of your audience, 2 to 5%, depending on your engagement. And if that post gets success, comments, likes, shares, then social media, because they want people to engage with their platform beyond their platform, maybe they'll share it with 5%, 6%, 8%, 10%. And only in those very rare occasions, which I know you probably see every day, but think about the massive amounts of people posting on social media, it's very rare that a post will go viral and get 100,000, 200,000, 1 million views. There's 1 million people that post got 1 like, 1 share, 1 comment. So what you can do is you can take your best performing ad and add some budget to it. So very simple, very clean. And the other thing that people utilize social media for, and I believe in not the best way, is social media should be building and communicating with your audience. Nobody likes ads. As a social media marketer, as a marketing agency, I know this. An ad needs to be informative, entertaining. Posting, sales, promotion is not what's going to gain the social media audience, because social media providers know that people don't love ads. So next time you post it, post fun content. Post a silly dog loving your product. I had a client who the dog was about to fall asleep sitting next to the product. It was amazing. It made sense for the product. I won't mention the name, but it made sense. And they posted 1 line of video, the dog about to fall asleep, and the post was 9 seconds, 8 seconds, something like that, and reached 2 million people, and they sold out the next day. He didn't run an ad or a promotion or look at all these amazing benefits and feature. The power of awareness. That should be our #1 SMART goal when it comes to social media. You take that awareness, and we always strive for that. Let's get 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people to know about our brand, our company, our product. And then if we're not achieving those goals, then we add ad dollars as like rocket fuel to those social media posts. And you kind of continuously, oh cool, let's reach 200 people and 500 people and 1,000 people and 10,000 people. And you continuously level up in the game. But awareness is going to be our main focus on social media ads. Content marketing, let's talk about it. It is an important thing. I think as pet business owners, we stop creating content. We create, a handful of website pages to talk about our brand, and then we stop. But with AI, the amount of content being created is incremental. It is exponential growth. So, as we talked about before, give AI some prompts about your business. What questions are people asking? Write an article about it. Drop-off procedure. Add bonuses. Your added bonuses. Your reviews. Write a whole AI article about amazing reviews that you've gotten. Your features, your benefits, new things. If you install a new piece of equipment in your pet boarding and daycare, have AI write an entire article about it. Give it some prompts, give it some quotes. As a business owner, we wanted to increase the fun and enjoyment of the dogs that come to our daycare, and AI will create the whole thing. 3 or 4 pieces of content a month on incredible growth. Almost 40 pieces of content about your business, how amazing it is. And certainly, as a note for all of AI, make sure you check the copy. Again, it's just predicting and guessing. It's not actually smart. We'll always have internally a copywriter look at everything that comes out of AI, just to make sure grammatically, contextually, and obviously industry-wise it applies. So have fun with it, create more content. And the last thing I want to talk about is partnerships with pet content creators, but then also fellow businesses. As a pet business, whether you're a boarding or daycare, pet service provider, e-commerce brand, the individuals purchasing from us are purchasing from other businesses, whether it's the donut shop down the street or the suit shop online, right? These are other businesses that our clients are doing business with. So why not share? Allow them to get a discount at your store for a discount at theirs. Allow you to find businesses that are obviously non-competitive. You wouldn't want to partner with the pet boarding and daycare across the street. Non-competitive, of course, and collaborative. Ask your best 5 clients in the next week, hey, where do you go to dinner? Or what gym do you go to? Obviously, be appropriate on that one. And ask them those questions. Where do they go to movies? Imagine getting 30 free tickets to new clients to the movie theater. Maybe they have a pet-friendly movie that the dogs can all see together with their owners. What a fantastic partnership. And then anybody who sees the movie gets a free night stay at your pet boarding and daycare. What a fantastic opportunity for your growth to be right next door. And those little things your competitors are certainly not doing. And then as the industry grows, our awareness of it and our education on it will happen on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It'll happen online. This next generation of pet owners, and I mean next generation by under 30. A couple surveys came out by the pet industry. Happy to share them in the show notes. But the number one place that people were learning about new pet products was not Google search anymore. Not friends and family, social media. The first thing a lot of new pet owners do when they are looking for a product or they hear about a product, so maybe they hear about an article or they hear about it, or they're looking for a solution, they go right to social media. What's the real dish about that product, that service, that company? So partnering with content creators that are in the pet space in your area. Maybe ask people if you're a pet boarding and business daycare provider, ask them if anyone them has a social media platform. Do a fair exchange, free night for a post. What a fantastic opportunity for them, a fantastic opportunity for you. And I wouldn't consider it, as we did in the past, as this one-for-one relationship. They post and you're gonna get 10 new clients. It is more about consideration and awareness on those platforms. If we want to follow up and do an ad on it, then we can talk about cost per acquisition for that ad dollar spend. But imagine your next prospect, they're going to look for pet boarding near me. And do you know what shows up on organic social now? TikTok videos. TikTok videos shows up on organic social, of course, but it also shows up on search ads. Try it. After this podcast is done, of course, try it. Go to your search platform and type in dog boarding daycare and see what shows up. A lot of the times it'll be the listing sites, Google, Yelp, Foursquare, etc. But what you'll start to see is TikTok. It's wild. So understand, partnering with them for awareness on those platforms might be something that like tomorrow, one of your best marketing opportunities is going to walk through the front door because you never asked the question you didn't know. Last thing on growth, insider tip. I want you to understand that pet owners love community. They want to do first what's right for their dog or their cat, but they also want to be a part of a community. The bond between pet parents and the shift to pet parentship versus pet ownership is really hinging on the fact that they now feel as a community, as home. So as a pet business owner, invite them into your community. Invite them into meetups and online places where they can really express their true dog parentness. Invite their opinions as well. Gone are the days of one-sided communications. Ask for captions, ask for quotes, ask for reviews, and then feature those to the audience. Cycling up. Find a way in your business, so let's say it's pet boarding and daycare, find a way for all the Yorkies to meet up, and all the golden retrievers to meet up, and all the people that love hikes to meet up. The more that you can facilitate community, the greater value you have in their eyes. The ability for them to find another place that provides excellent care, of course, and safe care, of course, and the best product, of course, but also connects them to each other. Like-mindedness. They can talk about features and benefits, and I know as a business entrepreneur, it's scary. But what if they talk about? They're going to find a way to talk about it, but now you can be in the facilitator role. You can be in the admin role. You can have some level of control on your business, on how they speak about it. I'm working with a product right now in the pet space, and it's pre-market. So we have a lot of fun kind of playing with Play-Doh before we get to expose it to the air of the audience. And I mentioned this to the client, and some of them are a little, wait, but what happened when? What happens if? What if they post a video that I don't like? Once your product is given to the world, is presented, it's now their product, it's their experience. To understand that and embrace that. But I was like, I'd rather them do that in my house than on the street. So think about a way in your business you can create community. Maybe it's a community whiteboard, and you just have people write their favorite things every month, every week. Maybe it's an online space where you're able to moderate that and have conversations and share tips and tricks. Or maybe there's a fun and creative way within your business. If you're a tech product, maybe there's a way where it's just customer section, and the customer owns it, of course. Or a way for you to get everyone together. But use community as that superpower. Imagine if that community had 1,000 people in it. Even for the largest tech products that I've worked on, and these massive products that are reaching millions of consumers, we've seen there's a core audience that develops somewhere. They're going to develop, they're going to find each other with or without you. And so we recommend strongly to have a strong community. Okay. So we have talked a lot about this session. I hope you are snuggling up with your favorite pet or favorite pets, or as many pets as you can be around you right now. But we have talked a lot. We've reflected on the past year. What a huge year in the world. Hopefully a big year in your business. And maybe you didn't reach the success you wanted. Maybe you didn't reach the number of sales you wanted. But I hope that you understood and reflected upon what happened last year, and we're able to look back and give yourself a pat on the back as when it was due, but also understand those things that didn't work, and let's just eliminate those. And we also looked forward to 2025. Maybe you're setting some goals after this. Maybe you're going to meet with your team. Maybe you wrote down some SMART goals while we were talking. Growth in sales of 20%, social media reach of 10,000. Something smart, actionable, realistic, timely, and specific. We talked about a couple of marketing strategies. Remember, AI, act as a marketing professional, email professional, ad writing professional that narrows that focus, partnerships, and community. Those three little things can be a monumental change in your business. And I want to encourage you to join the Pet Marketing Mastermind waitlist. There's going to be links in the show notes, but you can also just head to petmarketingmastermind.com. I encourage you to join the waitlist. This is going to be a fantastic program for your business in 2025. Learn about it. Ask those questions. Gain community with fellow business owners, fellow pet business owners that really want to thrive in this year. Make sure, if you haven't, to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a review. Leave a comment. What should we talk about next year? What's affecting your business this year that you really want to talk about? Maybe there's a new thing emerging. Maybe there's a new technology. Maybe there's a new integration that you really want us to dive deeper into. And we're also looking for guests. I've interviewed a handful of the largest people in the pet industry, from veterinarians to personalities to marketers to entrepreneurs to CEOs, and I'm always looking to interview the next person. So if you want to be interviewed, you can certainly fill it out in the reviews or message me directly. And in the comments, in the reviews, I want you to share one, and you don't have to be specific because I don't want you to, talk about your secret sauce publicly. I understand that, but what is one business goal? Grow social media, decrease ad spend, increase revenue, encourage more local partnerships. What is that one goal that you are working on in your business? I'll add mine as well. Thank you again for listening and for sharing your time with us here at Pet Marketing Mastermind. It is an absolute pleasure. Have a wonderful day.